Hey everyone, how's it going? Halo Infinite has been out for nearly 2 months now, so in today's video, I thought we'd take a look at how the game has improved over its life cycle and what it needs to do going forward. If it feels like Halo Infinite has been out for way longer than 2 months, that's because the multiplayer released in beta a month early and transitioned out of beta straight into the full release when the campaign dropped on December 8th, so I'm considering the game's official release as the 8th, but we've basically been playing for 3 months now. Now this video is almost entirely about the multiplayer since the campaign doesn't actually leave us a lot to talk about in this kind of video. To be clear, that doesn't mean that the campaign is bad. I adore the campaign in Halo Infinite. I want to get a campaign tier list out sometime soon, and I'll talk about my thoughts on the campaign in depth there. The reception community-wide has been phenomenal, both in terms of gameplay and story, aside from a few minor nitpicks. Typically, the campaigns are largely left alone after launch, so there's not a whole lot to talk about in this kind of video. All I would want to see for the campaign, aside from minor bug fixes, is an option to replay specific missions after completing them, as well as a dedicated theater mode for the campaign. But other than that, all 343 needs to think about here are potential campaign DLCs. As for the multiplayer, this is where things get a little divisive. In the 3 months we've been playing the game's multiplayer, I've completed the battle pass, played for close to 5 days, and I've really enjoyed it, but there are definitely some problems. As a whole, this is my favorite Halo multiplayer since Halo 3, and my favorite FPS multiplayer as a whole since Black Ops 2. But there's 4 major problems that make this game a little harder to enjoy. The first problem is the store customization and progression. This feature is an entire video on its own. It's been widely criticized before the game was even released, and after. And while things have gotten better as far as pricing goes in recent days, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I've completed the Heroes of Reach Battle Pass, yet I still don't have all of the armor I need to recreate my Spartan from Reach. That alone should tell you everything you need to know about how lacking the customization itself is, never mind the fact that a lot of it is locked behind a hard paywall. The Battle Pass progression itself is also not great. Again, it's gotten better as time has gone on, but there's still no incentive to win matches to complete the Battle Pass. It doesn't reward grinding for long hours in a single day, and there's no progression outside of the Battle Pass itself. Now that I've finished the Battle Pass, aside from the weekly cosmetics, I don't have anything to progress towards. Again, things have gotten better, but they're not where they should be just yet. The second problem is playlist variety. Again, this is something that's been widely criticized since the game was released in beta back in November, and again, while things have gotten better since the game released, it's still not where it should be. We've gotten specific playlists for Team Slayer, Free For All, and SWAT, as well as Fiesta and the new attrition game mode with the events that happened over the past few weeks. But there's still a lot more left to go. There's still no dedicated playlist for game modes like Oddball, Strongholds, or Capture a Flag, and the game still doesn't have game modes like Riftball or Infection, and we have no idea when these are coming. These are the 2 biggest problems with Halo Infinite at the moment, and while things are being done to address these problems, they still have a long way to go. The third problem the game's multiplayer has are the glitches. Halo Infinite is without a doubt one of the most polished AAA shooters that released in recent memory. Granted, that's not a very high bar nowadays. And while the gameplay is generally very smooth, there's a problem with desync and hit detection with both bullets and melee that needs to be looked at. The amount of times I've traded melee kills with an enemy in this game is actually unbelievable. And the Halo subreddit has at least 2 or 3 clips of desync reaching the top page every day. However, the biggest issue is the theater mode, custom games, and big team battle playlist. All 3 of these are beyond broken. There's a high chance with all of these that they just won't work when you try and use them, and it's been that way since the beta with the exception of BTB, which broke around the same time the campaign was released. These are all staple features in Halo that just don't work, and a fix for these needs to happen immediately. The fourth and final problem Halo Infinite's multiplayer has is its ranked playlist and stat tracking. Halo Infinite's multiplayer is completely free, and it doesn't seem like there's any kind of anti-cheat whatsoever. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what happened here. As for stat tracking, it doesn't exist, and it should. Kind of feel like that doesn't need to be said, but here we are. So with all of that in mind, where do the developers need to go from here? The first thing 343 communities managers need to do is put together some kind of content roadmap so we know what to expect. The developers have been extremely good at letting the fans know what to expect with the game going all the way back to before launch. And while I appreciate that, having to follow a dozen community managers on Twitter to get an idea of what's happening in the immediate future with the game is both inconvenient and hard to follow. I would like to know what to expect in the immediate future as well as the a distant future. Aside from campaign co-op and Forge coming in seasons 2 and 3 respectively, I have no idea what's happening in the future, and that needs to change. I have to imagine the developers already have some kind of content roadmap internally, and making that public would work for everyone. It's perfectly fine if it doesn't go exactly to plan, nothing ever does. It's more important that it just exists right now. Once we get that roadmap, 343 needs to heavily prioritize the fix for big team battle, custom games, and theater mode, as well as implementing a stronger anti-cheat in both ranked and casual playlists. We already know another attempted fix for BTB is coming, and I'm sure they're already working on a fix for custom games and theater mode. And anti-cheat is an obvious need for a free-to-play game, and the fact they launched the game without one is honestly shocking. After that, 343 needs to fix the issues with desync and hit detection, all the while adding more playlists, game modes, and the like, either with new events or standard updates. Beyond that, updates for things like mission select and campaign theater modes, an updated file share system, campaign co-op and Forge, and a service record should all come in time. And those should absolutely be part of the content roadmap, though later down the line. As a whole, I'm still loving Halo Infinite's campaign and multiplayer, but it still needs a fair few updates before it reaches its full potential. It's still without a doubt the best Halo release since Reach, and I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. I mean, the multiplayer is literally free, there's no reason not to at this point. And it is a live service game, so issues like this are unfortunately to be expected despite how infuriating it can be. Maybe with that in mind, we'll check back in a couple of months in a video like this and make a mini-series out of it. Who knows? And those are my thoughts on Halo Infinite so far. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you made it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.